We're headed to Wally. I think we're going to just end up be like Wally. There's just going to be nothing but trash left everywhere. We're going to get in some spaceships. We're going to have to leave the planet, and whatever level you can afford, you're going to be on that or not. So have fun on the barren planet with nothing that we've mined the shit out of and wasted everything. We got to go look for another place to live, and we're just going to be supported by AI until we die, and then replicate, right? Like it'll just be breeding ships. So
I mean, that's a pretty optimistic view of the future, right? Mine's a lot
I guess
better.
that is kind of an optimistic view of the future. I think it's bad, but at the same time, that's not so bad. What do you have to do? I sit in a chair every day, and then I go have sex, and then that's it.
Yep.
But
it sounds a lot like being unemployed in Sydney, man.
I have the opposite opinion of James. I don't think we're going Wally. I think that if you look at history all the way from like hundreds of years ago all the way up until today, we're on a steady progression thanks to technology of getting better and better standards of living and
I never said it was going to be a low standard of living. I just said we're all going to be in chairs floating in spaceships to ruin this planet looking for the next one.
Well, I don't think we're going to ruin the planet. I think that
I've already done
that we're going to save it just in time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing, isn't it? If we could actually go to a planet which we can't live on and make it livable, fucking do it here. Like, save the rocket fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I've been accused of being a cornucopian, but
what is that?
I want one. I don't know.
Yeah, what?
Finally, he's coming out of the closet. That's fantastic.
Yeah, a cornucopian is like the horn of plenty. You know, the horn that keeps giving. Resources are unlimited.
Star Trek. Be optimistic.
I think he's talking.
Yeah, very optimistic. Like
Fruit of the Loom underwear have this.
Like in the long run. Like I do believe in the long run, for economic purposes, even on Earth, without any space mining or anything, that resources are unlimited. Economically, for economic purposes, not actual physical resources.
Okay.
Because there's an opportunity cost, and because there is a price mechanism that creates divergences in relative prices, we can never really run out of resources. They just become more expensive, and when they become more expensive, the economy will find alternatives. And look at copper. Copper became expensive because we were using it for power lines and for internet cables, and now we use fiber optic, so we don't even use it for that. So that's just one example. And if you look at these things here, this one little piece of material here replaces about 50 different objects that we used to carry around. We used to have calculators. We used to have.
Yeah, screw it, Mrs. Clark. I do have a calculator everywhere I fucking go.
I've got friends that don't have that they only had a computer. They only had a PC because they needed email and web browsing. That's all they used their PC for. Well, they don't need it anymore. They've got everything in the palm of their hand. So it's called in economics, it's called dematerialization. Technology actually causes, as technology advances, you need less material to do even more than you did before. So someone was saying, well, what about pianos? Because if everybody on Earth wanted to play the piano, the amount of resources, the amount of ivory, ebony, and all this that you would need if you want actual real pianos, and the answer is no, because you could actually learn how to play the piano in VR, and you would have unlimited pianos. Mm-hmm. You could have a grand piano in a VR environment.
And like Andrew said, we've gone. This has been proven over and over again to be correct. That theory, that things. Mm-hmm. I remember hearing that in 1908 they had a special conference to figure out where they were going to move New York to, because there were so many horses there used for transport. The place was dying out of manure. Like that's why even basement apartments in New York have 2 steps up before they go down. So when it rained, the manure wouldn't wash into people's houses, right? And then the car came about and it all went away. Just
Yeah.
technology solved that problem. We didn't have to move the entire city of New York. You know? So it's the same thing. We're saying we need to do this. We'll need more resources. Now, maybe we'll recycle them. Maybe the technology will be so advanced that you don't need the resources. Maybe, like in Australia, power generation is becoming, the government's now giving grants to get people to put batteries into their houses. So power generation won't be a thing. A lot of people will be ex-grid.
I think I totally get that, and there's also the a bell curve for when new technology comes on the market, it's incredibly expensive, and then when the masses take it up, it becomes less and less and less expensive. And the most outrageous example is storage. Like back in the day, they had these huge devices, and only corporations could hold them for holding 125 megabytes. That was like a lot of space. Now they're talking about glass matrices or something like that can have thousands of terabytes in a very, very small physical space. So yeah, I think technology and the cost of that technology over a specific period of time, if it becomes popular and they can monetize it, solves problems because it gives the creative engineers or the creative thinkers or whatever, the leadership, the tools to solve problems that they don't know what the answers are to now, but in the future something will come around and they say, oh, there you go. Let's use that. Let's see if it works. And by some miracle, it does work. But there is a finite amount of solutions until you kind of like run into a brick wall. Like the problem we've got with the planet's heating system slightly, raising, and we don't really know what's causing it. We don't know if it's because we've put too much carbon in the air, or we've done this or that, or particles or whatever. We really don't know because it's a secular thing. And we might find out in 100 or 200 years, like, oh yeah, that just happens every 500 years. So let's just not worry about it. We'll just change our houses and our lifestyle so we can live through the 100 years of extreme heat, which wipes out 60% of the animals. And then we get all these new animals, blah, 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 over 1,000 years. But we don't really think in those terms. We barely think in 20-year terms, not hundreds or thousands of years. But that's what the globe is. It's thinking on tens of thousands of years. So a lot of our discussion with AIs and what's going to happen, it's a very, very, very small amount of time. And we're not really going to be around to experience
I do think that humanity is extremely adaptable, though. I mean, even to go to a very simple way to sort of do it is the Oreo cookie. They kept breaking them and breaking them and breaking them and breaking them, and then until finally somebody said, "Why don't we put it in ice cream? Put the broken ones in ice cream." And all of a sudden, okay, now the broken ones are something. So I do think that humanity will adapt successfully to whatever it gets sort of thrown at, whatever sort of sticks. The car stuck beyond the buggy, and it's that kind of thing that humanity will just adapt and move on. Thank you.